Hello, BookTube. This is the final part of the 8th bookcase, Shelf 6, Part 2, primarily American literature. So let's get right into it. First here we have a very famous biography of Ernest Hemingway. This is Ernest Hemingway, a life story. You'll usually see it with like a light brown dust jacket. I do not have the dust jacket. It's by Carlos Baker, New York, Charles Scribner's Sons, the same publisher who published Hemingway, 1969. I've read some other biographies of Hemingway. This one still remains my favorite. Next we have the letters of Ernest Hemingway. This is the first volume of those letters, 1907-1922, edited by Sandra Spanier and Robert W. Trogdon. Excuse me. And this is the Cambridge editions of the letters of Ernest Hemingway. And this was published in, let me see, 2011. I have dipped in and out of it. Not sure Hemingway would have been thrilled that they were being published. I'd like to get the other volumes in this set. I'm not sure how many they're up to now, but it'd be easy to find out about online. Then I have Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. This is credited pretty much, given a big role in his winning the Nobel Prize for Literature. This has illustrations by C.F. Tunnicliffe and Raymond Shepard. It's a Scribner classic. Originally 52, renewed in 80 for the copyright. And this is like the 14th printing. So this is not very old. Absolutely fantastic novel. And the next one is The Sun Also Rises. Again, one of these Scribner classics that had very similar cover to each other. And this one was originally 26, renewed in 54. They don't really, the dates on these are not easy to follow, but another great Hemingway novel. I'm a Hemingway fan, not everybody is, but I am. So this one's a beat up, The Short Stories of Ernest Hemingway. Spine's all damaged. New York, Charles Scribner's Sons, obviously. Copyright, sheesh, these are a bear. They start in 27 and they move on and on and on through time. Scribner's are not giving this up. So, short stories, Short Happy Life of Francis McComber, Snows of Kilimanjaro. Let's see what else, anything. Big Two-Hearted River, Part 1 and 2. Fathers and Sons. That's great stuff. This is the complete short stories of Ernest Hemingway, the Vigia edition, forward by John Patrick and Gregory Hemingway, prefaced by Charles Scribner Jr. And the Scribner paperback fiction published by Simon & Schuster, and this is 1987. And then moving to the last of my Hemingway. This is one of those Barnes & Noble editions, leather with the ribbon marker and the nice end papers. I got this because it's called Ernest Hemingway, 4 Novels, Barnes & Noble, New York, 2007. I got this because I had to read For Whom the Bell Tolls for a book club, and this cost $10. So, can't beat it. It has The Sun Also Rises, The Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and The Old Man and the Sea. So a little repetition there. Beautiful, beautiful volume. So then we move right along here. See if I can do this without a disaster. I'm going to start with Steinbeck. This is not a first edition. It's one of those things that's printed to look like it. The Long Valley. Not really any publication information here, which is sort of weird. So my guess is well, this is a collection of stories, but my guess it's probably a book club edition. And there's not even a table. Oh yeah, there is. So it has Chrysanthemums, The White Quail, Flight, The Snake, Breakfast, The Raid, The Harness, The Vigilante, Johnny Bear, The Murder, St. Katie the Virgin, Red Pony, The Gift, The Great Mountains, and The Promise. That's all part of the Red Pony. Leader of the People. So, a nice little edition. Then this is another Steinbeck volume. It includes East of Eden, which is one of my favorites, and The Wayward Bus. East of Eden came out in 52, Wayward Bus in 47. This is Viking from New York. Not great quality paper. Then, another one of the Steinbecks I enjoy. The Acts of King Arthur and His Noble Knights, from the Winchester manuscripts of Thomas Mallory and other sources, John Steinbeck. There you go. It's for R. Strauss and Giroux, New York, 1976. I actually saw a nice this is a paperback. I saw a nice hardback copy of this at the library book sale. Like, oh no, I've got that. So this is the last Steinbeck I have, and this is one of my favorites. This is called John Steinbeck, Working Days, The Journal of the Grapes of Wrath, edited by Robert DeMott. This is the journals he wrote while he was working on this. I believe he also did one for East of Eden. I have to find out. There you go. So now we work into Faulkner. This is a collection that has not been read. Well, if it has, it's been dipped into, and I've been collecting it for a little while now because I feel like I need to give Faulkner another chance. I tried when I was younger and I just couldn't get into it. So here's the Library of America. And this one contains the novels 1930 and 1935, As I Lay Dying, Sanctuary, Light in August, and Pylon. Have not read it. Then I have Modern Library, William Faulkner, Sanctuary. And this came out in 1932, copyright was 31. I also have Absalom, another Modern Library. That introduction by Harvey Bray, and this was 36, but this volume is from 1951. I also have Go Down Moses, again, Modern Library. Out of New York, and this copyright 40, 41, 42, and this one looks like it's 42. And then finally, to help me out, another one of these ones I love, a Norton Critical Edition of The Sound and the Fury. So this is going to have all these apparatus that makes the reading a little easier for me. So, an authoritative text, backgrounds and context and criticism, second edition, edited by David Mittner of Rice University, W.W. Norton Company, New York and London. And this is, looks like the latest date on this is 1987. So this will give you some help. I struggle with Faulkner. I'm not promising to ever get through them. I've been collecting them again. I had them years ago in these Book of the Month Clubs editions. I've ran into these off and on, and I thought, well, I should give it a try. So to finish the shelf, I have 3 by John Updike, and then there'll be more on the next bookcase. So this is Seek My Face, a novel. And this one was published in 2002. Sometimes I like Updike, sometimes I don't. Here's Roger's version, a novel by John Updike again. There's the author. He was nothing if not prolific, which is fine. It means he worked. I got no problem with that. Alfred A. Knopf, New York, 1986. And then I've got, to finish off the shelf, I've got a volume that is how I really like Updike, and that's his critical work, his nonfiction. So this is Hugging the Shores, Essays and Criticism by John Updike. Wonderful cover. And this one is, this one's got dust bunnies on it. It was on the bottom shelf there. This one is actually got an inscription and a signature from 1983 by John Updike. And it came out in 1983, New York, Alfred Knopf. So this, so right here, he's got a piece on Saul Bellow, Kurt Vonnegut, Ursula K. Le Guin, Margaret Drabble, all sorts of folks. I don't know if you want to read who was in it, you could just stop your video. Right there's a list. So I'm a bigger fan of his nonfiction pieces. We'll get into some more of him as we move on to the next bookshelf. And the stuff right above my head, I think he's on that side. So that was the end of the 8th bookcase, the 6th shelf, part 2. Thank you, BookTube.